Hello and welcome back to episode 6 of the Old Timers Tales. Here in this series, the old-timer Jayanta Kumar Nath would introduce you to amazing tales from all across the globe belonging to diverse genres. All these stories are a part of an anthology, the book titled Contemporary Global Fiction. These stories have been wonderfully compiled and edited by Dr. Susminderjeet Kaur. The book has been published by Penprints India Limited, Kolkata. Today the story we would listen to is Cheetah, written by Professor Dr. Shobha Bajpai. Author Dr. Bajpai, Professor and ex-Hod English, BSNV PG College, Lucknow, PhD. American English, UGC Project Director, writer of books, articles, PhD examiner, ICCR-sponsored academic visitor, global speaker and recipient of numerous national, international honors for literature, cultural harmony and creative excellence in UK, the Netherlands, USA and Dubai. Well, if you love these kinds of stories, please press the like button on the screen and subscribe to the channel for more of these tales. So let's start.
Cheetah, Professor Shobha Bajpai. Normally, Professor Sharbadi doesn't take calls from unknown numbers, but on the morning of her birthday, when a call from the same number came many a times after a regular interval of 5 minutes, she took it. Someone spoke meekly from the other end. "Hello, madam. Good morning. Wish you a very happy birthday." The voice seemed somewhat familiar to Professor Sharda, but still she couldn't recall the name instantaneously. She felt a little anxiety in recalling it, so she aptly asked, "Who is that?" The voice from the other end said, "Ma'am, it's Sapnil. Don't you remember me? Have you forgotten me?" She replied, "Oh, Sapnil, it's you. How are you, mere bachche?" Sapnil responded, "I'm fine, ma'am. I'm in Lucknow. I came here 4 days ago. Actually, ma'am, I got my posting here on medical grounds as my dad is critical and he is hospitalized at Sanjay Gandhi Postgraduate Institute of Medical Sciences." Professor Sharda asked, "Oh, what happened to him?" Swapnil explained, "Madam, he has acute pancreatitis. He abstained from alcoholic drinks for a few months after my mom's demise, but then again, he relapsed to addiction and his condition worsened, and now my grandparents have become helpless to look after him. He was admitted to a rehabilitation center twice, but it didn't help much." A reel of past incidents rolled quickly in Madam Sharda De's memory as she continued the conversation around and said, "All right, Sapnil, I'm pleasantly shocked to know that you still remember my birthday after so many years. Madam, how can I forget? My mom used to share her birthday with you. But madam, maybe you have completely forgotten me or not yet burdened us." "Madam, I want to come in the evening." Swapnil's voice had a childlike insistence that bore a firm conviction, and he repeated, Please, madam, don't deny. Allow me to come, ma'am." Professor Sharda softly said, "Why would I deny, my dear? After all, who remembers and cares about a retired teacher? But trust me, some people are really coming in the evening to discuss the book launch of a friend, and we have to chalk out its details." Swapnil, bubbling with excitement like a child, said, "Ma'am, you carry on with your work. I will just take a few minutes." She agreed reluctantly. As soon as she kept her cell phone aside, a lot of incidents flashed in mind in a fast-forward manner, especially that occurred around 5 years ago at the freshers party where all the kids were singing Bollywood numbers. Sapnil had sung the song, "ए मालिक तेरे बंदे हम, ऐसे हो हमारे करम, नेकी पर चले और बड़ी से डरे." Since then, he had sought the attention of all the teachers and became a blue-eyed student of Sharbadi. She started admiring him due to his behavior and punctuality in the class. He was very charming and good-looking boy, tall, fair-skinned, little thin. He used to play basketball and usually came to the school spick and span in college uniform, except on few occasions it seemed like he had worn the uniform hurriedly without ironing it. And during those days he looked a little lost. Still, he stayed very attentive in the class. One day, Madam Sharda asked him why is he in slippers and not wearing shoes, and his uniform is also not ironed. He said, "My grandpa is not well. I attended upon him the whole night and couldn't spare time for personal upkeep." That endeared him even more than others. The next day, she asked him, "How is your grandfather now?" Swapnil replied, "Ma'am, he's better now." In all the semesters of BA first and second years, Swapnil had excelled in all the subjects, scoring the highest marks in the class. And he even won a shield for the college in the intercollegiate debate competition. Professor Sharda had gifted him a book titled Ideas of Swami Vivekananda and wrote on the second page of the book, "May the dream to all others be yours, and may unwavering devotion towards the duty be the doctrine of your life." By and by, 2 years passed. The third and final year for the students had begun, and soon after the Dussehra holidays, they were deep into their studies for the fifth semester. The students were quite busy, while other students were busied themselves to submit their projects. Swapnil started absenting himself quite often. Madam Sharda had started taking extra classes to bail out laid-back and weak students. In the meantime, she noticed Swapnil's name also in the list of students who had crossed deadline for submission of projects. She worried and thought of calling him after the class. On the fateful day, Madam Sharda sat for a longer period in her room in the Department of English, checking the project work of late submissions. Suddenly, she felt deep hunger pangs and looked at the clock. It was too late. She hurriedly packed her bag to go home. As she was moving towards her car and was about to get in, she heard Satyam Sinha's panicked voice straightway from the other side of the car window, and in an almost choked voice, he stammered, "Ma'am, please come." Startled by the unexpected call, she looked around and asked, "Yes, what's the matter?" "Satyam, ma'am, Swapnil, please come and see." Satyam was quite nervous. "Sharda Dev, what happened? Tell me." Satyam, "Swapnil, he is not well, ma'am." "Sharda Dev, what? Why are you repeating ma'am so many times? Just tell me, what is the matter?" Satyam, "Ma'am, Swapnil is in the cycle stand." "Sharda Dev, is there some mess with the parking person? Is he charging extra? Go and talk to the principal. It is none of my business." "Ma'am, please listen. Swapnil is not well." "Sharda Dev, what happened?" Satyam, "Ma'am, I don't know. He is somewhat unconscious." Sharda Dev, "Oh, what? Let's go." Sharda left her purse on the bonnet of the car and quickly made her way towards the bicycle stand. Some students had gathered there and she yelled, Move aside. What happened?" All the students who have encircled Swapnil moved aside. She reached to Swapnil, who was sitting on the ground with his head down. He lifted his head and asked, "What happened?" Swapnil had his face buried between his knees and didn't respond. She lifted his head again to look at him, and then finally managed to say, "Yes, what happened? What is the matter?" Satyam, "Yes, ma'am, he is not responding properly." Sharda Dev, "All right, help me take him to my car." Picking him up, she instructed some students standing there, pointing towards Swapnil. At the same time, she told Satyam, call his parents, may try to find out his cell in his pocket. Satyam handed over Swapnil's cell to Madam. There was his mother's number in the last dial list. She dialed the number and spoke to his mother, who was also a professor and taught chemistry to medical students. Hello, Swapnil, hello? The mother almost shouted as she took the call. Sharda De. Sorry, this is Swapnil's teacher, this side. And from the other side. Yes, madam, what is the matter? What has he done? Sharda De. He's not keeping well. Why did you allow him to come to the college today? Please come and take him home. Swapnil's mom at the other side. Yes, I will come. Rather, I am coming. Please, ma'am, take care of him until I arrive. Sharda De. Where are you? Swapnil's mom. Ma'am, I'm at the medical college. Sharda De. That's quite far from here. Should I wait? Swapnil's mom. Ma'am, I know your house is in Aliganj. If you can take him with you, it would be a great help. Please, ma'am. I will reach Parivartan Chowk. By the time you would reach there, it would save time. Sharda De. All right. You start from there. I will meet you near Parivartan Chowk soon. With the help of the students, she then fastened the seat belt around Swapnil and made him sit in the back seat. In a hurry, Sharda quickly drove off without fastening her own seat belt. She must have only gone a short distance when Swapnil started vomiting severely. Sharda grabbed a napkin from her bag and handed it over to him, but he was vomiting continuously. She got nervous. She had purchased a new car just a few months ago with latest infotainment system, and she immediately called her colleagues and briefed the whole incident. In a superficially concerned tone, they said, Ma'am, why you have taken so much trouble? Those boys had come to us as well. We asked them to report to the principal, but instead of that, they approached you. Hand him over to his parents immediately. Perhaps you are not aware of the truth. She immediately rang her son and briefed him. He said not to worry and shared the location. Now my hands and feet started shivering. She felt more nervous. She didn't even notice the traffic signals, desperately driving towards Parivartan Chowk. Simultaneously, she started seeking the help of Almighty, silently, and begged to send Holy Spirits for her rescue. As she reached Parivartan Chowk, her elder son, who was waiting near Parivartan Chowk, reached there from his office at Aliganj. Right in front of Clark's Avan, a blue car was parked. As soon as Madame Sharda's car stopped, a tall, slim, and smart lady with a calm demeanor stepped out of the blue car. She opened her car door and administered a medicine to Swapnil that she had brought with her. Sharda quickly realized that this was Swapnil's mother. In a choked and flustered voice, she said, Thank you, ma'am, for all the pains you have taken, and I'm so sorry for the entire inconvenience. Uttering this quickly, she carefully placed Swapnil in her car and drove away towards medical college. However, when Madame Sharda got out of her car, she also started vomiting severely. Her sari and sandals were all spoiled. Somehow, her son managed to take care of her. He called a mechanic for a car wash, handed over the keys of the car to him, and drove his bark. On the way, he asked, Why did you take so much personal interest? You would have landed in a problem. They looked at him and said quietly, If not me, who else? If you were in Swapnil's place? Madame Sharda was extremely tired and exasperated over the entire sequence of events. As soon as she reached home, she took a bath and lay down in her bed. Exhausted, she immediately fell asleep, only to be awakened by the constant ringing of doorbell in the evening. If someone had not repeatedly rang the doorbell 2 or 3 times in a row, she would have continued sleeping. Opening the door, she saw Swapnil's mother standing with a man and holding a packet in her hands. She was almost in tears and said, "Please let me come in, ma'am." Standing almost at the center of the door, Madam Sharma asked, "How is Swapnil?" Swapnil's mom, "He's fine, ma'am. We live nearby, in the second row behind your house." Madam Sharma, "Oh, really? That's wonderful. I didn't know that." Pointing towards the man by her side, Madam Sharma inquired, "Who is this gentleman?" "Swapnil's father." "Swapnil's mom." "Yes, yes, that's him. Yes, my husband. Please, let us come inside." Realizing her mistake, Sharda Dey stepped aside and said, "Yes, please come in. I didn't know you are our neighbors." Swapnil's mother touched Sharda's feet and said, "Madam, you are a divine angel. You helped like an elder sister. I will never forget this favor you have done to me." Taken aback, Sharda said, "Oh, Dr. Saib, what are you doing? Please don't elaborate. It is my duty." Swapnil's mom, "No, madam. Please let me say this. You have saved Swapnil and you have saved us. What would I have done without him? My life would have been meaningless. Look, I tried explaining so much to him, but he hadn't listened to me. He was saying yesterday where he first met Nazreen, he would give his life for her on the same spot." Sharda exclaimed in utter surprise, "What? What are you saying? I'm shocked to listen all this. I'm unable to understand." Swapnil's mom, "Madam, you don't know what magic Nazreen has cast on him. He keeps talking to her the whole night. Nazreen's brothers are against this relationship and they are after his life. They've stopped their sister from coming to college. But her stepmother arranges secret calls at night and Swapnil is madly in love with her. Today, out of frustration, he took many sleeping pills at the college. When she didn't turn up in spite of his persistent persuasion, Sharda Dey held her head in utter confusion. Oh my God, these kids. Now I have understood why nowadays Swapnil had started missing classes and arriving late. In the meantime, she noticed silent, emotionless man sitting. Swapnil's mom suddenly stood up, holding tears in her eyes and hands clasped together in reverence. Without saying a word, she quickly left and the man followed her. The next day, as soon as Sharda reached college, she immediately called Saptam Sinha. Giving him a stern scolding, she said, "You cheater, you think you are very smart? You would befool me? You manipulated everything deliberately?" Saptam stood quietly. Madam Sharda almost roared in wrath. "Tell me, Saptam." "Madam, I am not a cheater. We didn't have any option. You were our last hope. Trust me, I am not a cheater." Though this confession mellowed down her heart, still she turned to other students and asked, "Tell me, did you all know about the whole episode?" All the boys and girls stood silently with their heads held down and looking at the ground. Sharda raised her voice. "Am I speaking something?" At that very moment, Navya Singh spoke. "Ma'am, the whole college knew about it. It was even in the knowledge of Principal Sir. Only you didn't know because all the students were scared of you." Then she asked in utter surprise and anger, "Scared of me? Why? Am I having horns on my head?" All the students laughed in their sleeves. Remembering Navya's words, Sharda began to recall even the smallest details. She recalled how some of her colleagues have told her, "Madam, students are never faithful. They take admissions, study, and after that forget the teachers and mentors. If something had happened to him, you would have unnecessarily landed into legal troubles." Another teacher remarked, "The old Swapnil is no longer here. He has gone astray." In the colleges and universities, all the boys and girls have their own stories, romances, and issues. We are supposed to teach and leave them to their mercy, not to invite trouble by solving these issues. Manu Shahbad would have continued navigating Sapnil's memories had the doorbell not rung. She opened the door and was surprised to see a tall young man in a police uniform. He saluted smartly and touched her feet, whispering simultaneously, "SSP Sapnil Mishra is here, madam." Then, with a chuckle in his voice, he added, "And ma'am, that cheater, Satyam Sinha, is also waiting outside. He has also been commissioned."